Okay. Now, one thing that abounds during the holidays is cream cheese. Like, cream cheese is my nemesis during the holidays because all the yummy recipes have cream cheese in them. And if I eat dairy, I get really sick. So I'm going to show you guys how to make an amazing cream cheese that's made out of cashews, that's dairy-free, and you'll never believe that it's not made out of dairy. So we'll start out with some soaked cashews. Again, I soaked them overnight. And all we're going to put in here is a little bit of salt, some lemon, whoops, not lemon, that was nutritional yeast, some lemon, and I've got some probiotics in here. I teach a different class called Probiotics for Perfect Health, and it teaches you how to add healthy bacteria or healthy probiotics into lots of the food you eat. So we're actually going to culture this cream cheese so that it has the same positive benefits as yogurt or other cultured foods, and we'll make it really easy. Let's see, where did I put my water? Now, when you use a Vitamix, you gotta, the cool thing I like about the Vitamix is it's got this tamper, and this makes it so you can blend something that's really thick, and normally the thick stuff wouldn't go down into the blades, but with the tamper, you can jam it down into the blades so you can blend things that are a lot thicker than normal. Yes? Oh, good question. The question was, why did you drain the water off the cashews and then add more water? The answer is I soak the cashews for two reasons. One of the reasons is to remove the phytic acid and the enzyme inhibitors off the outside so they're more digestible. So all that water had all those dissolved enzyme inhibitors and phytic acid and all that stuff I'm trying to soak off. So I dumped off the soak water, and then I'm adding fresh water to make the food with. Otherwise you're like still eating all those enzyme inhibitors that you're trying to get rid of if you use the soak water. Okay? Any other questions? Now, Vitamix comes with a 7-year warranty, so a lot of people, they try to use this like a regular blender, like they turn it on, and they're like, okay, baby, let's go. And with Vitamix, it comes with a really good warranty. It's got a really good motor, and so you don't have to be afraid to be kind of rough with it. So I'm just going to show you how I do it at home. And when people see me do this for the first time, they're like, oh my gosh, what are you doing to your blender? But this is how you make it work, all right? Okay, so that was loud and it sounded kind of scary, but what you've got in the end is, see how creamy that is? That's really smooth and it's really creamy, just like cream cheese. We're going to take the probiotic, and I just take a probiotic capsule from the store, and I just break it up into there. You can use any kind of probiotic you want. I put it in after it's been blended because you don't want to damage all the bacteria. You don't want to damage it with the blender or with heat. So I'm just going to stick that in there, give it a little stir. And then we've got some yummy cream cheese all ready to go. Okay, we're going to set this aside and do the next portion of our recipe. Thank you. Yes? Walnuts work really well as far as the texture. The question was, what if you're allergic to cashews? Is there another nut you can use? You can use walnuts. They're nice and soft, and they give a smooth texture, but they're not quite as white, so you'll get a little bit of a brown color. You can also use macadamia nuts, which are nice and white, but they are more gritty, so you'll have more of a ricotta cheese texture than a smooth cream cheese texture. If you're allergic to all nuts, you can use seeds like sunflower seeds and soak those and use those. And they don't have as much of a neutral flavor as cashews, but they work just as well. Yes? Have you found a good source for nuts when they're so expensive? I get mine through the question is, where do I get my nuts because they're so expensive? Nutty Guys has a group order a couple times a year, and you can get your nuts for like 50% off if you buy them in bulk. So usually I buy my nuts like once or twice a year in big 5-pound bags and store them in the refrigerator or the freezer, and that way it's about half price of what you get them for at the store. If you just want to buy small portions, I recommend going to the health food store like Good Earth and go to their bulk bin section, and that's usually less expensive getting it that way than getting them prepackaged like at the grocery store. Yes. Yeah, all nuts, seeds, beans, grains, they all have those phytic acids or enzyme inhibitors on the outside. So to maximize the nutrient properties, you want to soak all of those things before you use them. It depends on what you're making. Like, for instance, cashews are pretty soft, so you can soak them as little as 4 hours, but the softer you want them, the longer you soak them. So like almonds, for instance, are harder. So I usually always soak almonds overnight, like 12 hours or something. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yeah, I mean, it's a question, but I don't really know. So I've never seen like colored salt. You're talking about colored salt before. Okay. I don't know what that's called in the store. What do you look for? Okay, thank you. The question was about salt. Where do you find colored salt, and what does it look like? The two kinds that I use are called either Celtic gray sea salt, and that just has like a grayish color to it, or Redmond salt. That's pink, and you can get both of those just at any health food store. Good Earth carries them for sure. Okay? All right. Let's make some yummy dip out of this. It depends on how it's been processed, and that's the answer for most foods. You know, is it healthy for me? Depends on how it's been processed. If you just get regular, plain old iodized salt at the store, it's been processed like at 1,200 degrees, so it's been highly heat treated. It's been processed and bleached, so like all the nutrients have basically been taken out of it. Okay, so the whiter it is generally, and this is for flour or for most food products, the whiter or less colorful it is, the less healthy it is for you. The more colorful it is, the healthier it is for you, generally speaking, and the less refined. So you just want to get something that has been refined as little as possible and has the most color possible. And those are the two kinds of salt that I know of that have not been refined very much. It is a sea salt, yes. So it comes from the same place, but it's just a matter of how has it been processed. Has it been heat treated? Has all the nutrients and minerals been taken out of it, or is it left in its original state? Okay. All right, what we're going to make here is a really great dip. Now this can go in a crepe with like fresh apples or fresh spinach. It's also great as a dip on a vegetable platter or a fruit platter. It's great for like a cracker topping, something like that. So there's lots of different ways you can use this dip. And the cool part is it's totally raw, so nothing's been cooked. And it's got lots of, the nuts make it so it has lots of healthy fats and lots of mineral content in there. We're also going to put some walnuts in here. And some dried cranberries. Now these dried cranberries, most dried cranberries are sweetened with sugar, and these are sweetened with apple juice. I got these at Good Earth, and so they've got no sugar in them, which is great. And a little bit of raw local honey. So this makes like a really sweet cream cheese sauce that I think you're going to love. Oh, there's another blender over there. Great. Okay, you want to leave it so it's still a little bit chunky, not completely smooth. All right. Did you guys taste it? How did you like it? It's good? Now the question is, could you tell that it wasn't made out of dairy cream cheese? No? Yay! Okay, so what do we've got? We've got it's nutrient dense, it's delicious, it's easy. You can't tell that it's not the real thing. All of those make it so it's a great dish to serve to your families and friends. Not only do we want to make our own bodies healthier, but we also want to make the bodies of our families healthier. And I get people asking me all the time, well, how do I get my husband to eat it? Or how do I get my kids to eat it? And my answer is, if it tastes so fabulous and they can't even tell that it's healthy, don't tell them. Just sneak it to them. Okay? Just make the healthy stuff, sneak it in there. And if it tastes that good, they're not going to know and they're not going to care, okay? Okay, so we're done with that. And then for the dressing on the side, the other day I was just looking through my fridge. I had a bunch of greens. I needed to make a salad dressing for dinner. And I had a bag of cranberries in my fridge. And I was like, okay, what can I do with these? So I made this salad dressing recipe up the other day. And it tasted so good, I want to share it with you. All you do is take a bag of cranberries, 12 ounces. And we're going to throw in a little bit of orange juice. This is just like the orange juice concentrate. Some onion. Now this is sweet onion. There's a bunch of kinds of onions. You can get the yellow kind, the red kind, or the sweet kind. The sweet onions, they don't have that bite to them that like kind of hurts your tongue a little bit. So you want to put sweet onions in here unless you don't care about the after bite of regular raw onions. And we're going to put in a little tiny bit of chipotle. This is just pre-cooked chipotle. And start with a little bit because if you put in too much at the beginning, you'll be sorry later. This is some tamari, which is a healthy soy sauce. Most soy sauce has MSG and gluten and all sorts of junk in there that you don't want to be eating. If you pick a gluten-free, low-salt tamari, which they have at the health food store at Good Earth, then you can be having the soy sauce flavor without the MSG and the chemicals and all the extra salt and the gluten. This is some maple syrup. This is 100% organic maple syrup. And again, with maple syrup and everything else, if you can get it organic, it's going to be a lot better for you than if you don't get it organic. This is a little bit of crushed garlic and a little bit of black pepper. Now, cranberries are really amazing for you. They have a property in them that makes it so bacteria can't bind to your bladder. So if you're prone to bladder infections or kidney infections, and you drink fresh cranberry juice or you're eating fresh cranberries, that will make it so the bacteria can't stick to your bladder and your kidneys, and you're going to have healthier bladders and kidneys. Fresh onions and fresh garlic are cruciferous vegetables. They're really great at fighting cancer, lowering your blood pressure, and they have all sorts of great health benefits. They're antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. Black pepper helps to heal up your stomach lining, and it also gives things a flavor that makes it so you need to put less salt in it. And orange juice, if you can use fresh orange juice with this, it's going to be healthier for you than the canned orange juice. It just makes it more watery, so you need to decide if you want to go for the consistency or the health properties with this. You can, the fresh is healthier, the frozen is a little more convenient, and it makes it a little bit thicker. I think part of holiday food is the color and the presentation. So anytime you can make things that are brightly colored with reds and greens in them, it makes it more appetizing, it makes it more festive looking. And also remember how I said the brighter the color is, the more antioxidants and the more nutrients you've got in that food. So this is a very antioxidant rich, high nutrient salad dressing. And if you combine this, this is great just on greens. Like I put a plate of greens with avocados sliced on there and some just whatever vegetables I've got handy, and put this on. It makes a really, really yummy, fat-free, totally healthy salad dressing. In this case, what I'm going to do with it is put it on a vegetable platter or a fruit platter. So if I was at home, I would slice up some apples and some celery. And I need a knife. Trina, can I have a knife, please? Thanks. If I was home, I'd slice up apples and celery. I've got some little peppers you can fill with it. Or crackers. There's lots of things you can do with this. Or you can put it in the middle of a crepe with some apple slices or some spinach in there, and it's really, really delicious in any of those ways. Also, anytime you can use a salad dressing or a dip to improve your vegetable intake of the day, that totally helps. So I find that if I have just plain vegetable tray out on the table, like nobody really eats a lot of it, but if I have the vegetable tray with a bunch of yummy dips, then people are just digging in. You can take the basic cream cheese recipe that I did at first, thank you, and you can add any kind of flavor you want. Like some of my favorite flavors are a lemon thyme, so you take that basic cream cheese recipe and you add some fresh thyme and some lemon and some salt and some pepper. That makes a really good dip. You can do like a basil chipotle dip. You can add, there's so many flavors you can add to that basic cream cheese to make it different flavors. So keep that in mind as well. This makes for a really fun appetizer tray at a party. You can also, if you have a dehydrator, like if you're going completely raw food and you have a dehydrator, another thing I like to do is take vegetables like zucchini, and what you do is you just slice it, put it on the dehydrator tray, and you can sprinkle a little salt on there if you like, and it makes little vegetable chips. So then you can have a bowl of vegetable chips with the dip, and it makes for a really yummy like a really good option instead of having your store-bought crackers or grainy crackers that have like gluten in them. You can have your vegetable crackers. That works out well. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can also turn on your oven to the lowest temperature possible and just put them on a baking tray. Put whatever your vegetable chips. You can do it with like sweet potatoes or yams or like I said, zucchini. Put that on the baking tray in the oven at the lowest temperature possible, and then you just leave them in there until they're nice and crispy. So you can do that if you don't have a dehydrator. So here's a couple ideas what you can do with vegetables. Take your salad dressing and like that, and use your imagination, whatever you want to do. And again, these recipes are basic. You can start with this, add more salt, add more pepper, add less chipotle, do whatever you want with it to make it yours, to make it work for you.